Hey, how y'all doing? This is Mongo Slade, and today we're going to talk about Lance Archer. But first, hit that like button for me. Also, subscribe unless you're already subscribed, in which case, thank you for being subscribed. So let's talk about Lance Archer, who I say is basically Crush 2020. So Lance Archer, he's been around for a long time. This is a guy who's been pretty much everywhere. He was in WWE. He wasn't like a major thing in WWE. He wasn't there that long. You also have he spent a lot of time at TNA. He really became a sort of fixture in Japan. That's kind of recent, when he went over to Japan and became like a big deal. And he really wasn't that big of a deal in the United States. Like I don't remember him being like a major star in TNA or anything. He was nothing in WWE, but he wasn't really a major star in TNA at all. But he was there for a while. He was a fixture. He was a regular in TNA. But he's just basically been a middling journeyman wrestler for a really long time. Where they seem to have a lot more due to his size. Really, people have just kind of been like, okay, we can push this guy. He's Lance Hoyt or whatever the hell. I think it was Hoyt. It's basically just been the benefit of size. That's kind of what we're getting at here. Is that because he's big, he's like 6'6" or 6'7" or something like that. He's going to get a second, third, fourth look. And that's why I say he's just like Crush, because Crush only really got multiple looks because of how big he is. You know, you have somebody who has, I don't want to say he has no talent, but with somebody who has basically no way of looking legitimate without looking like a cartoon character, then you really kind of have to ask why he's still on the roster. Like for those of you who don't know, Crush has went through 4 incarnations in WWE alone. There was Crush of Demolition. There was Crush of Kona Crush, the brightly pink and purple Crush. Then there was Crush the Jailbird Crush. And then there was Biker Crush from what was it, DOA, Disciples of Apocalypse, that Crush. And the reason Crush kept getting, I mean, Crush got arrested numerous times during his WWF run. But the only reason he really kept getting looks is because of his size. And I heard he had some friends in high places too. But really, as long as Crush was in the WWF, what do you really remember about him? He probably had one memorable match. Well, him being in Demolition, that's one good thing. And his flop of a WrestleMania 10 match with Randy Savage. And I guess getting the double doink situation where he got screwed by the 2 doinks, which was at WrestleMania 9. But those are and Crush was in WWF for a long time. And those are like the only things worth talking about. And they pushed him numerous times. Crush was in, high level spots over and over again. You just never could get over it, no matter what you did with him. And I see that Lance Archer is pretty much the same way. Like he was over in Japan because big tall dudes get over in Japan. And he was bigger than everybody else in Japan, and all he had to really do is throw smaller Japanese wrestlers around and look intimidating doing it, and that was able to work. And so that's how he ended up getting a job in in, in AEW. And so going to AEW, he pretty much just had to do the same thing. Everybody on the roster is small. He's not, so he gets to get in there and throw people around and look menacing and look mean. And then they paired him up with Jake Roberts, which was a phenomenal pairing. I never would have thought to do it, So that's something that I'm very impressed with, is that they actually got Jake Roberts to be his quote unquote coach. But they haven't done anything with him. It's just they have not decided what his position is, other than stalwart mid card, upper mid card heel who looks grimacing and does cartoon villain promos. Like that's about it. He's Crush 2020. I don't see like the spark or the fire or the intensity. I don't see it feeling natural anyway. It all feels like it's painted on. It all feels like a character. And I don't see how this is going to work. People who may have had high hopes for Lance Archer, I'm sorry. I just don't see it happening. I just don't see it happening. This guy is Crush. Okay, he's bland as hell, wrapped in a neat package because he's a big dude. He's always going to get more opportunities. But he's in his early 40s now, and if he's not being pushed as a top guy right now, it ain't going to happen. You got this tall, not very charismatic, not very personable, not really good at promos, not a great personality type of pro wrestler, where it would have worked in the 80s with him being basically a big bruiser, but in today's modern world, it ain't gonna work. It's not connecting. And I don't think people care about Lance Archer like that, and it's unfortunate, but he's always gonna get more opportunities because he's big. And he is the definition of sort of a guy who gets more looks. Like if he was a smaller guy, most people wouldn't even care. He wouldn't even gotten over in Japan, really. He's been middling, but, because he's not really like the most athletic big dude ever either. He doesn't wrestle a crowd-friendly style he doesn't wrestle really a hardcore style or an acrobatic athletic style. He wrestles sort of a big heavyweight style, which is slower paced, based on more high impact moves. And so that means he really only looks good on offense and only in short bursts, but it's just not working. It's not working. Lance Archer is not working in the United States. And I think everybody has to see that at this point. And I just decided when I was watching something that he just reminded me a lot of Crush. And I was kind of like, damn, that's kind of like the position Lance Archer is in now, where they keep him around because he has a great look and he's a big dude. But he's not going anywhere. I mean, even when you think about his catchphrase, "Everybody dies," it's like, what does that mean, bro? Like, where are we going with that? What does that mean? Like, are you going to be the one to kill them? Because if that's going to be the case, you should rephrase that. Because, like, it's a fact that everybody dies. But what they got to do with you? They got shit to do with you, buddy. And then, like, he comes out and he's throwing the trainers and stuff around like he used to do in Japan. He used to push the trainers and stuff. Now they have to put people outside the ring for AEW for him to throw around because there is no young boys. There's no young lions for him to throw. So they have to place plants everywhere so he can push them and stuff like that. And it all comes across real phony and weird. And he's making weird facial expressions and, yeah, everybody dies. And it's like, he's no Psycho Sid. He's no Vader. He doesn't have a presence to him. Like, despite his size, he doesn't have a presence. Doesn't have charisma. He's not cut like like, if he was like a big cut dude, it would be completely different. Like, it's not good. It's not good. It's a waste. It's a waste of time. He's another Jack Swagger kind of big dude. Where, yeah, he's big, and you can always do bodyguard, heater with big guy. You can always do that. But what else does he have? He doesn't have anything else. There's nothing else in the repertoire other than he's tall. And, he kind of works out a little bit. But if you compare him to some of the other big dudes who might have had far more flavor to him, like somebody like I just said, like Psycho Sid, like people can talk about Sid all day. You can talk about how Sid can't work. But when you saw Sid, man, when you saw him, man, he looked like he would tear a human being in half. And it looked legit. Like, he looked like he would legit tear you in half. No matter, and you'd be like, yeah, that guy's scary. If Sid was to come out and say, everybody dies, you'd be like, shit, he's about to murder half the crowd because he looks like he might mean it. Like he looks like he might mean it. And then you could put Sid in there with anybody and he looked like he'll tear him in half. But it's not the same with Crush and Lance Archer. There's two different breeds of big guy. There's big guy who is just big, and there's big guy who is scary. And Lance Archer is big guy who is just big. But that's just my opinion. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Like this video, share the video, subscribe to my channel, and thank you guys for listening, and I'll talk to you guys later.